In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up customers and suppliers within Tally accounts. So to set up customers, all you need to do is go to the Customers module on the left-hand side of the screen. Once you click on the Customer screen, you will see here that in the middle of the screen, you have the option to create a customer. If you click on that button, all you need to do is enter the customer name. It will automatically create a customer code for you, but you can overtype that if you wish to. And then once you've entered those two bits of information, just click Create a Customer. That customer record has now been created within the system. We can then continue to go and enter their address details. So we can put their address, all their various information here. We can put their postcode in there, their country. We can enter their contact information, their full name, and then you can put their contact details in there as well. If we go to the Options tab at the top, we can choose the email template we want to use, so we can set up default templates within the system. Depending on when we're sending out statements and invoices, etc., it can pre-fill that information for us. If we want a default purchase order reference number to appear every time we create a sales invoice for this client, we can put a default reference in here and it will be added in as soon as I enter one of those transactions. If we go into sources, we can enter where our clients come from. So if you would like to track where your different customers come from, you can add those sources into the system. Our default payment terms are set at 30 days, but you can just adjust these using the arrow buttons, or if you just highlight that, I can just say my payment terms are actually 7 days. If you're dealing with customers based outside the EC or another EC member state, you can key that information in here, and you can also enter in their VAT number that will need to be appeared on the actual invoice when they're being created. We can set up their default sales code. So by default, it's sale of goods, but we can customize this list, which we'll see when we do invoices, and you can choose what default code you want to use. You can also choose the invoice and quote template that you want this client to default to. If you are managing and tracking discounts through your business, you can do that through here. You can also manually add discounts into invoices rather than having the system generate that automatically. You'll also see another option in here to setting up additional custom fields. If you click on this button, then basically this will take you through to a screen where you can add in additional boxes to these customer records. Under text fields, we might want their birthday. We might want to record things like their hobbies and things like that, but you can customize this to whatever's going to suit within your business. You want to put different check boxes in here as well, and you can add 20 of each in here. If I click Save Settings, now within the customer record, you will see that we've now got an Other Info tab at the top of the page. If I click into here, we can now see these 3 fields have been entered, and I can then enter their birthday, any hobbies in here. So let me just type in, so we'll just put the 25th of May in here, hobbies, and then if they're a priority customer, which means every time I log into this client's account, that information is always going to be stored. So when I pick up the phone, I've got something to talk about with that client. We can also add notes in, so we can just add a new note, and you can type whatever you want in there, and it'll store notes against customer records. When we start generating invoices and quotes, you'll be able to track all of their invoices and quotes within the Invoices and Stats screen. On the right hand side, we'll be able to see when they've been first and last invoiced, and also how much business we've actually done with this client, and also their average time to pay. You will see that there's various buttons at the top of the page, so we can quickly create quotes and invoices directly from this screen. And also, if we go to purchase history, we can download all of their purchase history for us, and we can generate email and print off statements for all of our customers. If we go to the customers module now, we will see that our customer is here. They've done no business with us as yet, but it will show us of all the value that they've done, and also any outstanding balances that they've got. You can also multiple select customers just by clicking on these drop down boxes, and then at the bottom we can say email or print statements, so we could email or print statements to multiple customers just with one button. Whenever you want your customer list out into Excel, you have the option at the top of the screen just to click download. So when I click download, I can choose customers I've created between specific dates, but if I just download all of my customers and hit the download report, all of my customers will just be taken out to Excel, and all of the information that I would have had listed in their customer record has come through. So we can see those different sources I put in here, so their hobbies and birthdays, etc., have all come through out onto this spreadsheet, so that can be used for any marketing activity that you may want to do within your business. And then to add a new customer, all you need to do is just hit create again, type in a name and hit create customer, and then repeat that process, and then we will see our customer list on the left hand side will just continue to grow and grow, and we can add those in as and when we need them. To manage suppliers, it's very similar. All we do is click on the supplier module on the left hand side of the screen, and then we just click create a supplier. All we need to do then is type in the supplier name, and again it will create the supplier code for us, and then I can just click create a supplier. Very similar to the customer screen, we can now enter all of our supplier details. If we go to other info and settings, we can put in our default payment method, so every time we generate a purchase invoice, if we're running a purchase ledger, what method do I want that to default to? We can also set up our payment terms with our supplier, and again, if we need to, we can put in their VAT number, and also if we want that to include on purchase invoices or not. We can then put their default purchase code, so if I'm generating purchase invoices for this supplier, then every time I generate a new one, I want it to default to materials purchased, and you can just customize that for each individual supplier. You can then choose the purchase invoice template that you want to use by choosing it from here. Once we start generating purchase invoices, just like sales invoices, we'll be able to track those against our suppliers, and we can see how much we've paid each supplier and how much is due. And all that information will be tracked when we start generating transactions. You also have the notes screen at the bottom there, just to add any notes on future reference that you want to store against your suppliers. At the top, we can quickly generate a new purchase invoice, and we can just quickly download and print or email a statement through to our suppliers. And then when we go to our supplier page, we can now see all our suppliers will be listed with how much we've paid to them, and also any outstanding balances that we may have against them. That's how easy it is just to set up new customers and new suppliers within Tally accounts.